Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered and Functional. I'm your host, Mandy, and I'm here with my bestie, Sash.
Hello, hello.
And we've got another great episode for you guys today. I think it's going to hit home because, especially right now, in the world we're living in and the culture that we've all kind of created together collectively, technology has been booming. Technology is crazy. So, if you are an individual that does not have any type of wearable, I tip my hat to you because you are a diamond in the rough and probably one of only a handful of people. The majority of people now, I think, have at least one type of wearable or health tracking device. And that is going to be our topic today. Before I get ahead of myself, though, you know the disclaimer. This is not medical advice. This is just an educational entertainment discussion that Sasha and I are having together and just kind of hoping to bring a little bit of awareness, maybe a little insight, maybe a new perspective, even to how you approach using your wearables data, per se. Sash, you have an Aura and an Apple Watch, right?
Yep.
Do you have anything else?
I used to, for a short time, wear a Hume band. So, because I got the Hume scale, that's the one that tracks like your body fat percentage. So I have one of those scales and I have the band, but it was very similar to my Apple Watch slash Oura Ring combo. And I just honestly prefer the Apple Watch and Oura Ring just because I've worn it together for so long. And um, yeah, that is going to be my combo. And it's funny that you said that it's like a diamond in the dozen of who doesn't wear any wearables. My fiance wears no wearables. Nothing.
Really?
Yeah, and I was just thinking about that because I've been wanting to get him an Aura ring because I'm dying to see what his sleep score is. And a couple of his buddies actually have them. And now he understands like asking the question of like, what's your sleep score? One of his friends was like, it was a 4. And I'm like, that's really bad.
Stop.
That's really bad. But
Oh,
I even asked him, I said, if I got you an Oura ring, like, would you wear it? And he was like, probably not. So he's like the diamond in a dozen who is, I don't want to say oblivious to his sleep and whatnot, but yeah.
that's actually okay. Getting a little off topic here, but that would be a curious question to ask him is like, does he not want it because ignorance is bliss and he's like afraid he's gonna have like a number 4 sleep score? Or does he not want it because he just is like, I'm fine without it?
I think it's more so that he's fine without it,
Mhm.
but, and like, it doesn't, track his steps like that or whatnot, but like he knows his activity level is like higher up and he's cruising. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question to ask him. I feel like if it's the first one, he might not want to say it.
That's why I'm like, catch him.
Mm.
So, because Colin has an Aura ring, but that one I kind of accidentally made him get when I was trying to figure out his ring size to
Mm.
propose, even though it's not like the same. We had like the Aura ring trial sizes,
Okay.
and I was like, oh, we should really like I'm if you're open to it, I want to get you an Aura ring so we can see how your sleep is because he is always kind of struggling with sleep with work and school. And
Yeah.
that was like my cover. And then he's like, "Well, oh no, you don't have to gift that to me. I have the HSA card. I'll just use that." And that's how he ended up getting an
Oh,
or
that's awesome. That's awesome. I think AJ might be able to get it like that too, actually.
yeah. Yeah, so that's an option. And then I was like taking the sizer and like Googling. I'm like, okay, what is the conversion? So anyway, I digress. But we're going to talk about how popular they became because we're kind of singling out Aura right now. But there's also Whoop bands, there's Apple Watches, Garmin watches, Fitbit, which just got, I think, bought out by Google. So now it's like
Oh.
Google Health Fitbit. I don't really know what they're calling it anymore. All I know is my dashboard looks way different.
Mm.
Um, and I have feelings on both sides of it. I do think it's great data. I think that the information that we're able to get from wearables now is really cool, especially the sleep data, because before that, you would literally have to have your doctor write you a referral to do a sleep center study in order to get sleep data. So now we
Mm.
can just like kind of bypass that. We don't have to like jump through all those hoops. These wearables also give us insight to our heart rate variability, recovery, especially those athletic populations or people on their fitness journeys. And then what I specifically bought the Aura Ring for was to help track my basal body temperature, to use it as a means of contraception, basically. So tracking my period and making sure that I know when I'm ovulating. I know when my cycle is going to start. I guess a theoretical I have for you, Sasha, is do you think people are healthier because of their wearables?
I love this question, and I'm going to answer it in a way where it might sound like I'm just spinning wheels, but I think that because they become more aware, they become healthier.
Hmm.
So it's like you don't just like see the scores or start wearing an Oura ring or an Apple Watch or a Garment or a Fitbit or whatever and immediately like now I'm healthier. It's like no. You see that okay, you wear your Apple Watch and then when you check your step score and you got 3,000 steps in that day when the absolute baseline minimum that I believe everyone should be getting in is like a bare minimum of 8K. Like that is just for overall health digestion, cardiovascular health, whatever you want to call it. But I think when you become more aware and you can see those numbers and how they track, you can make the decision to start making changes and you could see, okay, this is where I need to make a change. Like if one of my biggest ones was when I started using the Oura Ring and seeing that it would take me 18 plus minutes to fall asleep. Like that was my latency to actually go into a sleep and I wouldn't hit deep sleep until a couple hours before I actually had to wake up or like REM sleep. So like it was like light and I would wake up very easily. I started realizing, oh shit, like that's the scrolling before I go to bed. That's the watching TV. That's the trying to wind down in 20 minutes and like rushing my wind down routine that is actually keeping my heart rate up higher and takes me a longer time to fall asleep. And I really only go into the deepest part of my sleep right before I need to wake up. And that, when I noticed that, I was like, oh shit, like, all right, reading before bed. Instead of 20 minutes, take 45 to an hour where I'm like winding down, doing my skincare, doing my last bits. Like, it's not like I'm working, shut my computer. Like, like it wouldn't work like that. So like I said, my statement stays true. I believe that people become healthier because they become more aware by
Yeah,
tracking the things.
I love that. And I agree with it too. I think that's like one of the best benefits and biggest bonuses to wearables becoming popular is because it does give that feedback to help people be intentional about their health and sleep and their activity levels. And I don't think any I don't think any track food. Maybe the Fitbit used to. I think it was an option. I never used it, but
I know that with the Apple Watch, if it's connected to the fitness app that we use for our clients, not that I can track food from it, but I can see my calorie intake.
oh, okay.
But also because that's what it looks like on the app for me. So because I have that app on my phone, it's on here. So,
Okay. That makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah. Overall, definitely agree with you. I think a couple things that are also worth mentioning, and I will do this disclaimer as well, guys. I'm only familiar with the ins and outs of Aura and Fitbit. Sasha just said she had Aura and Apple Watch, so I can't really speak in detail about Garmin or Whoop. The people I know that have a Whoop really swear by it.
Yeah.
I checked it out. It didn't seem like my thing, but to each their own. But something that I definitely want to pick or bring up that I think is another huge benefit, understanding how your recovery impacts things and understanding how your activity and your stress levels interact with your nervous system. So in this case, I'm like particularly referring to the heart rate variability or HRV trend in. And of course, part of this too is also educating yourself on how to read what an HRV score like ideally should be because it's very different for everyone. But that can help you as an athlete, or even if you're just somebody with a fitness goal, understand like if your heart rate variability is suffering and you're working out 6 days a week, take that as data and understand maybe your body isn't quite as resilient as it needs to be to do 6 days a week. Pull back to 4 or 5 days and watch that HRV and take a look at the trend. If your HRV starts improving, then you know that 5 days or 4 days working out is going to be a much better fit for you from a physiological standpoint than pushing for 5 or 6 days. Looking at the trends of the data that are presented are really, really helpful. I think it, like you said, it can help people be more aware of like, hey, I need to get more steps in. I need to get to bed sooner. I need to do these things. But the one thing I will say as a downside is the accuracy. It varies across the board for all of these wearables. None of them are going to be 100% perfect. And that's why when I have clients that use wearables, I tell them like the data is great. We love it, but we have to kind of take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
It's not end all be all. And like I had a client that messaged me and was like, "Oh my God, my sleep score, it's in the toilet. It's horrible. Like I'm gonna have a bad day." And I was like, that is one piece of data. Like
Yeah.
I more so care about the trend. So now if you came to me and told me I've had 3, 4 nights of really bad sleep and my sleep score suffered, but I also physically feel it, I'm going to pay more attention to that than if you just have one bad night.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind the accuracy. It's give yourself a little leeway there. It's not 100% perfect. And before I kind of go on to like just kind of opening the floor to share our own stories with it, the biggest thing that I want to point out with wearables, and especially as like a functional health coach, this is where I've had to make and create and kind of point out some boundaries for my own clients is that these wearables, again, great data, but they should never have more authority over your life than your actual lived experience and what you're actually experiencing.
Yeah.
Because you and I were talking before this podcast started, and you were like, oh, it said my readiness was low, but I woke up and I felt great. And it's like, yeah, then we're going to go by how you woke up feeling versus
Yeah.
what the number says. Because again, not 100% accurate. I have seen this in many clients where they will start stressing out about the numbers and then the numbers get worse because they're stressing out about the
Yeah.
numbers. And I'm like, hey, we're going to make this a part of your protocol immediately right now, starting today. We're not wearing it. And I've gotten some pushback where it's like, well, I spent the money on it. Like, I want to know what I'm like, are you using the data or is the data dictating your life?
Then that's a very big difference. That's a very
Yeah.
big difference because I can't express how or put enough emphasis on how true that statement is that you said that like this is just a piece of data that we're collecting and your maybe HRV was a little bit off because the day before you had a more stressful day or you trained a little bit harder or maybe your sleep was off because you woke up a couple times in the middle of the night because you needed to pee or maybe you did get a shorter night of sleep but you woke up still feeling decent and good or like good and fine. I've had days when my Oura ring would show me that like my sleep score was like a 72 or a 73 and that I only got, just a little over 6 hours of sleep. But it was kind of one of those like I have to wake up at this time to like go get my workout in or go do this and go do that. And it will send me a notification where it's like take it a little bit easier today, whatever. And I read that and I'm like, yeah, okay. And when I get to the gym, like I really do an assessment, like how am I feeling? Like, do I need to take it easier? I start pushing the weight, I start working out. How am I feeling? How am I doing? Some of those days when I got that kind of notification on Oura Ring is when I pushed the most amount of weight. Like yesterday was the day before my period, and I think it was my readiness score was either a little bit lowered or I like just got a notification like period might start tomorrow. Like you might be experiencing a little bit more tiredness or fatigue or this or that. I literally hit 2 PRs in the gym yesterday. Like, yes,
Ayy.
it was, thanks. Like, yeah, it was honestly hard for me to get into the gym
Mhm.
yesterday, and I was having a little bit of like a harder day, like mentally, and just bleh, I don't want to be like I was in my pre-period, but like I kind of, was experiencing that. And had I listened to that or like that, I would have walked in the gym and be like, nope, I'm not even gonna try to push the PR or like, oh, I already know the weight's gonna be heavy. It's like a part of this, a really big part of this is just how you the story that you tell yourself about it. It's like, and that line was just a banger. Like, don't let it dictate you. Like, don't let it be the reason why you choose to have a great day or you're tired or you're whatever. Like, according to my Aura ring, I'm supposed to be low energy today. And I am honestly feeling like a fucking firecracker. Like, I'm feeling great and I'm feeling good. Might be the caffeine. I don't know. Double shot of espresso would do that to you. But it could also just be that the numbers aren't always 100% accurate and it is a piece of data. And I can't help but want to tie this into like when you step on the scale, right? And you
Hmm.
see that the scale maybe went up or maybe it went down and maybe you were hoping for it to go down, but it went up. And now instead of looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing the progress that you've already done, you're now creating a story in your head of I'm not doing enough because the scale jumped up. The scale for me has been up like 3 pounds for the last week, and I have not been able to drop it at all. And then I got my period this morning, and I'm 2 pounds down, and I'm like, that was it. Like that was freaking
Hmm.
easy. So it's really just about take the data, collect it, but don't attach yourself to it. Like, don't make it your entire personality. Don't make it your entire life because then, yes, it will dictate you, your life, how you go about things. Take it for what it is. And sometimes maybe what it says is like accurate. Like, I've had times when it told me, take it a little easier today. Like, you might need a midday nap. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah, I do need a midday nap. And I did it. So it's really like listen to it, but take it with a grain of salt. It's not the end all be all compass. It's not the needle mover for how to go about your day.
Yeah, for sure. And like something that you kind of mentioned as well that made me think of this is specifically for Aura, because again, I don't know if the other wearables will do this or not, but Aura will tell you if you're showing minor or moderate or major signs of like something, maybe
Of
potentially getting
symptoms,
sick.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I, two things about this. I had a different client who every time it would show minor symptoms, like the world had to stop. And it was like, it doesn't mean like what you might be catastrophizing it to mean. And one of the times that it said minor strains, period came the next day. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just kind of, we have to really consider what else is happening in life right now. What's happening with hormones? What's happening with your sleep? What's happening with stress? Did you eat? Did you drink all of your water? Like all of these are going to have an effect on the variable data that is collected.
Did you travel?
Did you travel is a huge one.
Every
Um,
single time I travel and we come home, either that same day or the next day, minor signs of something straining your body. And like immediately in my head, I'm like, ooh, I gotta start drinking more tea because I don't want to get sick. And like I want to make sure that I don't get sick. And 95% of the time, it's just that one day because there was either stress around traveling
mhm.
or my Oura ring wasn't tracking while I was in the freaking air for 3 hours. So there's like a gap and it doesn't know what happened during those 3 hours while I was in the plane or whatever the case is. Like, I don't know. Like, so it's
Mhm.
not,
Yeah.
those are really great points
Mhm.
to just not get so attached to it.
Right. And the other one I wanted to mention was I have had it tell me I've had minor signs of biting something off both times where after I had done a leg day, like a pretty hard leg day, and it was literally just my body trying to recover from the leg day. I
I
wasn't
believe it.
sick, I didn't cough, I didn't get a fever, it wasn't anything like that. And, had I not been more aware of my biofeedback and my body and understanding how it works, I could have easily like freaked out about that. Like me, if this was available like 10 years ago, me 10 years ago, I would have spiraled. I totally would have spiraled.
Fair.
Totally would have spiraled. So I think that is unfortunately like the biggest downfall about these wearables.
Yeah. And I
So,
will say to like add to that example of yours, I've had that before too after like a really heavy workout or when I was in prep and I was doing a lot of cardio and like my body was like really strained, like under a lot of strain. I would get that notification like constantly, like your body is under a lot of strain. Like take it easy today. Like my HRV levels were always off. Like there was always something off about my HRV levels. And and or no, I meant to say but there was a 3-day window. It was this February, my birthday, the day after, and the day after that was our engagement party, and the day before my birthday, I know my body, so like immediately, like if I feel a little bit in my throat or something, like I know what I need to do. I woke up on my birthday, I got maybe like 5 hours of sleep because I had to go to the gym super early in the morning. Minor signs of something straining your body. I was like, all right, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm just gonna go about my day. I think that because I got so little sleep, and then on my birthday, we went out for a really nice dinner and I got a drink, my heart rate was higher. And the next day, it was like major signs. And at this point, like I felt like I was congested, like my head was hurting a little bit. Not from drinking. I had one single drink. So like it wasn't from drinking, but like I could just feel like I overdid it the day before, like the lack of sleep. And I was like, I don't think I'm getting sick, but I did get a little bit nervous because we had the engagement party the next day. And I was like, ooh, shit, like it's saying major signs, but I'm also feeling symptoms. So like I wasn't like making this up in my head because it said that. And I got, because it showed me that like my heart rate was off and this was off and that was off. I actually have a friend who lives nearby and she does at-home IVs. And I was like, come over to my house right freaking now. I need an IV because I was just worried about actually getting sick and like getting other people sick. The next day, nothing. Like literally as if nothing happened. So like even if I was getting a little bit of like a stuffy nose or like my body was just a little bit over, I was overdoing it because I was still weight training every single day, had a drink where my heart rate, I can have a the smallest I can get alcohol on my lips and my heart rate's going up. Like I just know this about myself. So like in hindsight, I don't actually think I was getting sick and I just did get a little bit spazzed out. So I did get an IV just to be safe. But at the same time, like when I think about it, I'm like, no, I think I just had 2 days of like 6 hours less even of sleep and an alcoholic drink and stress around the party. And that was, what it was.
and
So,
Aura called you out.
and Aura called me out and was like, hey, girl, you're kind of overdoing it right now. But
Yeah.
again, it's like the whole entire message here is to take all of that with such a grain of salt and not make your whole entire life revolve around that because at that point it becomes a very unhealthy obsession where you are no longer in tune with your own body and like you can't even take a look at your body and be like, okay, what am I feeling? How am I feeling? It's you're almost relying on this outside source to tell you how to feel and how you're
Mhm.
feeling.
Yes, that's perfect. That is literally that is a perfect wrap-up sentence because that's the message I want everyone to take away from this is like these are really wonderful tools. Like as a functional health coach, I love that they can help you be more aware of your own body and thus you can be more intentional about how you go about your day. I don't like when the numbers start dictating your lived experience because you are the authority of your life. Not a little ring, not a little watch, none of that stuff. Like, you know what you're feeling. And if you need a break from a wearable, it is not a failure. I've taken a break from the wearables before too, just because I'm like, I love science, I love data, but there was one point where I was like, okay, this is too much data. Like, I need a break. So if you need to take a break, take a break. It is not a failure. You can always come back to it. Just recharge it. It's not like it's a waste of money. We're not saying get rid of it unless you've gotten to that point where you should maybe get rid of it, which is fine too. But that's what I want you guys to take away from it. You are the authority of your own life, of your lived experience. These wearables are great little tools, but at the end of the day, however you are feeling is truly what matters for your health and life. Thank you guys for joining us here today. Sasha, thank you for joining
Of
and contributing
course.
as well. Guys, if you would be so sweet, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube, rate us 5 stars on Spotify. I know I said it before, I'll say it again. It really truly does help as small creators, help us grow, help us get out there a little bit more, help us continue to deliver these wonderful podcasts that we're doing for you guys. And hop on over to Sculpt Sessions with Sasha. They drop every single Sunday on Spotify and YouTube. You can find them. And then we will catch you guys on the next one every Monday.